Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chuck. I make videos for NBA. I also do a bunch of other content. All these videos, they do get posted on this subreddit. It's called DF Sports. You can find my posts. My username here is Shook. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can talk strategy here with other people. You can ask me questions about the slate. I will always respond to you. So definitely check that out. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can do so on Twitter at Tory Langley1902 or Shook Go. And lastly, before we go over my lineups, if you're interested in joining Discord where I have private videos going over each slate, player pools for cash and tournaments, I give you a core of players to play. I go over esports content, NBA content, a bunch of other content, whole bunch of stuff. Link to that'll be down below. It is premium content, but I think it's definitely worth it. Super cheap too. And I go over all the rotations for you guys in the videos. Like, I nailed absolutely everything except for Zeller and Love. But I nailed everything. If you guys remember, I said Bruce Brown wouldn't play more than 20 minutes. I said they're going to go with KCP. They need perimeter defense against Miami. Bruce Brown is cooked. I said they were going to go with Highsmith. And then I break this down even more in my videos in Discord. I go over absolutely every scenario with rotations, with blowout, what I think Miami's going to do with their rotation, just a whole bunch of stuff. So check that out if that's something you're interested in. But let's go over my lineups from the other night. And I played tennis at 5 in the morning. I actually cashed. I know nothing about it. Basically broke even in the Millie Maker. But I nailed absolutely everything. Highsmith was my favorite pump play on the slate. I said Bruce Brown wasn't going to get more than 20-25 minutes. They're going to close the KCP because they need perimeter defense. They did that. I said, what else did I say? I feel there's more stuff. I'm trying to think. Oh, I said Christian Braun obviously would be in the rotation. There's got to be some more stuff. I forget, but you get the point. We had really good days in Discord. Broke even in the Millie. Hard to win money in these with the structure. It's so bad. But I had a chance for a while. And then Aaron Gordon had that slow second half. That's basically kind of what cooked me. And then having Braun. I also had a lot of Duncan Robinson. I built all my lineups hoping for the blowout, and it was going to blow out until the Miami Scrubs kind of brought it back there for a little bit. So all my lineups were made for blowout. It went like 5-1, 4-2 Denver in every single lineup, basically. It was working out very, very well until Gordon slowed down. So break-even day. As you can see, I built all my lineups basically with Highsmith, and for Denver blowout, and Duncan Robinson, like I said, was in most of my lineups, and that didn't work out, unfortunately. But I would do it again. I would absolutely do it again. I thought Duncan was a really good play. Oh, and we nailed Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon were two of my favorite mid-range plays on the slate. Absolutely nailed that. But let's go over the slate. So Tyler Herro might come back. That will impact things. We will go over both ways, and we will also take a look at the rotation together. So I think there are things that are going to change for Miami. And like I said, I break this down even more in Discord, but I will give you my general thoughts. I don't think anyone's going to break this down as much as we do here. Here's my thoughts. So if Tyler Herro is out, interesting to see that Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent closed together. You did not see Strus in the fourth. You only saw a little bit of Duncan in the fourth. You saw Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent close together. I don't know if they do that again. And let me explain. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, right? Think about the size. Miami was just getting absolutely cooked by AG and Michael Porter Jr. They have lack of size, right? I don't know if we see that again. Also, Zeller was getting absolutely destroyed. -5 in 7.5 minutes. I think there's a good chance that we do see some Kevin Love. I watched all the analyst videos, top analysts in the world. They all think the same, that we could see Love in this next game. Obviously, it's just a large field tournament dart, but I actually agree. I think they need to be playing Love here. And I think Highsmith's obviously going to be in the rotation. Said that for game 1. I would be absolutely shocked if he's not in the rotation again. I think there's a chance Gabe Vincent could lose minutes. Once again, lack of size. And yeah, Bam, Butler, obviously they're not going to lose any minutes. And then you guys know Strus, Duncan, they negatively correlate. And we saw both of them not close, which definitely makes them a bit more riskier. So that's the rotation for Miami. And then with Denver, it's going to be the same. They're going to need KCP out there for perimeter defense. Bruce Brown, I expect to stay around 20 minutes. We'll probably see Christian Braun in the rotation again. And then Jeff Green will obviously be in the rotation. So I don't expect Denver to change up much. And then I think there's a chance for Miami. We do see Zeller completely go away, and we might see some Kevin Love, and then we'll see some Haywood Highsmith. So let's go over the slate. We have Tyler Herro out. We'll go over it both ways, though. So if Tyler Herro is out, look at the pricing. Jimmy Butler's still only $2,000 cheaper than Nikola Jokic. There is no way, absolutely no way, that I am prioritizing Jimmy Butler over Nikola Jokic. There's just absolutely no way. Jokic is going to project 10-plus points better than Jimmy Butler. Ceiling projection probably is going to project 10 points better than Jimmy Butler. Now, maybe not 10, but ceiling-wise. But medium projection will probably project 10 points better than Jimmy Butler, or more. So that $2,000 difference, I don't think is enough. I still think Jokic is a phenomenal play. I'm going to be prioritizing him. And you could play Butler. I think he's a fine tournament play. I think he'll probably be low-owned. But prioritizing Jokic, I just don't see a way where he's not optimal in the captain or in the utility spot. So gonna depend on ownership, and I'd rather play Jamal Murray point per dollar over Jimmy Butler. Like similar, maybe not similar for, but like same upside. They're both gonna stuff the stat sheet. Just give me the discount on Jamal Murray. Now I think that's what a lot of the field's going to think as well. So I think Butler will probably come in under owned like he did last slate. So I think Butler's a good tournament play. Like there's nothing wrong to say about Jimmy Butler, but I think Bam Adebayo is just way more optimal. And people didn't want to play Bam Adebayo last slate. I had Bam Adebayo in 60% of lineups last slate because people just overreacted to that Boston matchup. I know Jokic is like, it's not fun playing Bam against Jokic, but it's a completely different matchup. He's going to play all the minutes he can handle. I think it's a better matchup than he was going up against the Celtics, and I think people just overreacted to that. Now, he's probably not going to go for 26, 13, and 5 again, but price came down. He's just too cheap. I think Bam is a really good play at 8.8K, and I expect him to be pretty popular, but for good reason. I really like Bam at that price. We have Caleb Martin at 7.2. Now, this is the thing. They finally got punished for slamming in Caleb Martin. They finally got punished. What this is going to do, this is probably going to lower his ownership. If that is the case, and you guys know I've been shitting on Caleb Martin on Reddit I know he's been a solid play every slate, but you guys got to remember that ownership dictates if a play is good after lock. Like before lock, when we don't have ownership, you can say a play is solid, but after lock, when we do get that ownership and he's 60%, it's not a good play. It's not a good play. So what that's going to do, it's probably going to lower his ownership. And if he does come in low, like 25, 30%-ish, then I think he's a solid play at 7.2 after coming off a bad game, assuming Tyler Herro is out, by the way. So if he's going to be under-owned, I think he's a good play. If he's going to be similar ownership, like 40, 45 plus, then I'm fine fading. I'm probably going to fade again. So hopefully you guys have ownership projections. You can look at that, see what he's projected for, and make your decision there. Because that's going to be how I'm going to make that decision on Caleb Martin. Now we're still going over this if Tyler Herro is out. So we saw Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry close together. We saw 38 minutes for Gabe Vincent. We saw 26 minutes for Kyle Lowry. Like I said, I think there's a small chance that one of these guys could lose minutes because of the lack of size. AG, MPJ, and them guys just absolutely killing them. But assuming they do go with a similar rotation, I think Gabe Vincent is a very, very solid play at 5'4". Shot 7 of 14, probably going to get you a few assists, probably get you like 1 or 2 rebounds. 5'4" is just too cheap for like close to 40 minutes. So I do like Gabe if you think they do a similar rotation. Kyle Lowry at 5'2", I think we get around 20 minutes regardless. And then if they close with him again, even better. So if I knew Kyle Lowry was going to play 25 plus minutes, I'd probably play him at this price tag. But there is a risk with him. They can always go back to Strus. They can always go back to Duncan Robinson, etc. So another one that's where it's going to be like, if he's popular with the volatility in minutes, it might be a good fade in tournaments. But right now, as we're going over the slate, if you think he plays similar rotational minutes, and he probably plays 18 to 20 regardless, yes, I like Lowry. I think Gabe's better, straight up, but I think both are good. Lowry just tournament only, though. And then we have Strus and Duncan. So Strus shot the ball 0 of 10 last game. I don't think that's going to happen again. And I think that was a huge part in why Kyle Lowry closed over him. So I've been jamming Strus like every slate. And it's been going horribly wrong. And I don't think anyone's going to play him tomorrow. So I like him for tournaments just based off that. One game when he does hit his shots, he's going to have a high ceiling. He's probably going to break the slate. One game when he actually does hit his shots. So if you can get him at like 10-15% ownership when he does hit those shots, he's going to win you a ton of money. So I always have interest in Strus for tournaments. Just know it's going to fail more often than not when you do play him. And then we have Duncan at 3.8. Who I think is just another tournament play for me. Played really bad last slate, but does have the upside to also win you a tournament. So I always have interest in these two, but they're strictly just tournament plays for me with the volatility in minutes, volatility in making shots, not doing any peripherals and stuff like that. So these three, all just tournament plays for me, but with a ton of upside. And then we have Haywood Highsmith at 3.2, who I think is going to be one of the most popular value plays on the slate, which, I mean, I got him low owned here. Everyone in Discord got him low owned here. I'll take it. Now everyone's going to jam him in. I think he's a good value. I don't know if we get 23 minutes again, but I think we get him in the rotation, probably playing 10 plus minutes. Good defender, okay rebounder. Could play backup 5 as well if they don't go to Zeller. So yeah, Highsmith looks like a solid value. And then we have Zeller, who, if you think gets the backup 5, is another playable dart. I do think there is a chance that they go to Kevin Love, and seems like a lot of high people also think that way as well. So I think Love's an interesting tournament play, but just know there is heavy risk of DMP with Kevin Love. So, but yeah, no one's going to play him. So I'll probably play him tomorrow just because I do think there's a chance he does play. But more often than not, he's probably going to DMP. So, and then, yeah, Zeller is a fine punt. Let's go over it now if Tyler Herro is in. First off, if Tyler Herro is in, I wouldn't think he's on a limit. It's just a hand injury. He would be a phenomenal play at 6K. He's just way too cheap. I would absolutely love Tyler Herro, and I think the field would love him too. I would absolutely love him. He would be a phenomenal play to me if he's in, assuming he starts. But even if he comes off the bench, I still really like him. Butler, Bam don't really change for me. I think Butler would still could be a good tournament play. I would still really like Bam. This is where things get tricky. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. All those guys are going to get hit with usage hits, minutes hits, and it's really hard to project. So I think Duncan could possibly go away completely. Strus probably goes back to the bench. Those guys would just be darts to me. Gabe Vincent, I still think would be fine to solid. Kyle Lowry would just be a large field tournament play for me, I think. And then Caleb Martin might lose minutes. Wouldn't like him as much and usage. So Tyler Herro is really going to impact this whole team. And then I still think Highsmith would be in the rotation, would still be a fine value. And then Zeller, if you think he gets the backup 5, would be fine. And then Kevin Love, if you think he gets the backup 5, or some 4-run would be fine, but still just a large field tournament dart. So Tyler Herro, if he is in, is going to change up this Miami rotation a ton. Going over to the Denver side. So Jokic is phenomenal. I'm not going to fade him. Absolutely love him. I absolutely love Jamal Murray at 11-2 as well. I think they both look great. Michael Porter Jr. I absolutely slammed MPJ. Absolutely slammed Aaron Gordon lastly. I really like both once again. The role for MPJ is just absolutely elite right now. He's going to play huge minutes. Good rebounder. He's been really, really playing well. The size, it's just unfair. It's just unfair. So I really like MPJ at 7-8. I like Aaron Gordon a ton as well. Need him out there defensively. His minutes are very, very secure. Started off hot, ended slow, but still a solid play for me. KCP lost minutes due to injury, but would have played close to 40. As long as he's hitting his shots, he does have the upside. He'll probably be pretty low owned after last slate, so I think he's a fine tournament play. Bruce Brown, I don't think he's going to play more than 25 minutes in this series. Like I said, I think they need KCP out there for perimeter defense. So just a large field tournament play. I'd rather play KCP over him. And then we have Jeff Green, who I think is just like okay. Fine punt. And then we have Christian Braun, who I think will be in the rotation. Another like fine punt. So let's go over rankings of players and who I'd rather play over who. So I'd rather play Jokic over Butler. I'd rather play Butler over Murray, straight up. That's straight up. I'd rather play Murray over Butler, point per dollar. I'd rather play Bam over MPJ. I'd rather play Bam over Caleb. I'd rather play MPJ over Caleb. I'd rather play, depending on ownership, like if Caleb's going to be chalk again, I'd rather play Gordon over Caleb. If Caleb's going to be lower owned again, I'd rather play, this is assuming Herro is out, I'd rather play Caleb over Gordon. So it's really going to depend on ownership there. I'd rather play KCP over Brown. I'd rather play Gabe Vincent over Lowry. I'd rather play Lowry over Strus, but it's very, very close. Rather play Strus over Duncan. I would rather play Highsmith over all of these values. And then the rest are just darts. I'd rather play Zeller over Braun. So if you need help with that decision, I'd definitely rather play Zeller over Braun. But like I said, I think there is a chance Zeller does DMP. Anything else? If you're building for blowout, just know, always play a Denver or a Miami 1K punt. The reason I say this is usually the team that is up won't pull their starters as early as the team that is down. So if Miami is losing by a bunch, Miami will usually pull their starters earlier, meaning you'll get more run for guys like Highsmith, you're at 7 earlier than you will for guys like, Reggie Jackson on the Denver side, if that makes sense. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all on Sunday.